Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everybody is doing well. Sims 4 speed build today. Couldn't think of anything else to do. I hope you don't mind. I picked one of my favorite empty lots, and this is in Windenburg. It's called Mid Nowhere. It is a tiny one, 20 by 20, but it is in a remarkable spot on an island. Has beautiful views. There's fishing right out in the front of the house. There's a pea bush there and a bonfire. It's very pretty. And it's cheap for where it's located, 1,500 simoleons. I do apologize, I have no idea how much the house is worth when all is said and done. But it is on the gallery if you're interested. And gosh, I hope I did not use too many packs. I'm telling you, I watch myself, and as I'm going through the catalog, I'll select what I like, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's a pack. Let's go find something in base game. There are just a few areas where I refuse to do that, and that's with, well, no, I can't say the kitchen cabinets, because sometimes I do use that base game one that has a million different colors to it. Looks plastic. I started with, yeah, I kept that one. Bathroom fixtures, obviously, that's all base game. And the ones I have difficulty with are rugs and I think just furniture in general. I want to have a nice, decent bed so they get good sleep. Reasonable looking furniture. This is so difficult to categorize. Is that the word? When you're talking about Sims 4 build items, is there anything good? I remember a long time ago I did a video on my favorite build items. I'm sorry, I just hit the mic. And most of it came from packs. Yeah, I think all of it came from packs. I don't know that any of it was base game. Except for some of the paths that I chose. The outside terrain. And I thought about doing a build with items that I can't stand. But there's just too many of them. A majority of the items in this game I don't care for. And again, it isn't so much that it's horrifically bad. It's that this looks good here. Now we need something to go on top or something to match. And you can't find it. You can't even put a wall up and find a matching floor for it. There's only like maybe 2 or 3 instances where that's possible. And especially with the tiles, they'll make a ton of bathroom and kitchen tile and 2 or 3 floorings that actually match. To say I have favorites is stretching it. I do. There are go-to items in this game, but that doesn't mean it's because I absolutely love them. Also, jumping the gun here, but you will notice that I went back to my fall color scheme. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wishing fall would come back. I never cared for the cold months. Number 1, because I was working in it. Number 2, because I had to drive in it. And I live in a state where winters are severe and harsh. Now that I can't do that anymore and I'm stuck here, you notice different things about the seasons. And my absolute favorite seasons now are late fall, all of winter, and early spring. Because everybody's locked up in their houses. No more chainsaws, no more lawnmowers, no more leaf blowers, no more screaming kids, no more barking dogs, no more of those cars that boom, 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 boom every couple minutes through the park, make the windows rattle. Oh my gosh. Everybody thinks that they live on 50 acres of farmland in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And there's less than 10 feet of space between each of the houses in this neighborhood alone. But they'd never catch on to that by the way that they live their daily lives. Like they're the only ones here and they're the only ones that matter. Very frustrating. But that is a tangent. I don't want to go off on one. I liked the materials I used at the start of this house. But then as I was adding to it, and again, because of color swatches, a lot of it started not to make much sense. White and brown go together just fine. There's not too many colors you can't accent with white, or that don't accent white, or complement white, whatever. Oh my gosh. But once the whole house was up and I had the roof and the trim on, I'm like, wait a minute. Something is off. So I made the changes and I went with the blue, the trim. I went with the brown trim on the windows and the railings and things like that. And I think it looks better. I think it looks more cohesive, nicer. Did not go nuts with the landscaping because there's so much all around this house, as you can plainly tell. There's really no need to privacy-tize. Add more privacy to this house because there's plenty. And it is pretty isolated. There are 2 houses on either side of it, but there are enough trees to offer a decent amount of privacy. What I wanted was easy access to the front of the house so that they could just sit there and stare at that absolutely glorious ocean view. It's a small, I can't even say it's a small house, but it doesn't qualify as a tiny home. Gosh, I'd love to be able to do that. It has just 1 bedroom and a bath and a half. But it's decent sized rooms, I think. And the color scheme is as neutral as I could get it with pops of color here and there. These rugs threw me. I don't know why I never noticed them before. And by the way, those lamps, I kept talking about those lamps in my Let's Play. I would go to the city when they had the sales or whatever they were called, the flea market. And I kept saying, how come these aren't in build mode? Why can't I get these lamps in build? You can. I don't know why I never noticed it, but there are 2 separate versions of that lamp in build mode. And I never noticed it until now. So these plants should be sheltered. And yes, the lot, like I said, it's a 20 by 20. There wasn't too much I could do, but I think they still have plenty out here to enjoy the outdoors if that was the case. I did the answer questions in cast to get your sim this time. Figured, what the heck. And she is a critic. And I noticed every time I sent her outside to do something, she would get the gray hue. And sometimes it didn't say bored, it was just fine. So I don't know how happy she is outside. But I think she might be a people person. I didn't really look into it. I just kept clicking until it was done. Because as soon as I chose to do it, I regretted it. It's like, oh no. So I didn't care what the answers were. I'm like, why am I making a big deal out of her? I only need her to build this house. But now, I played her for a day. I had a lot of fun. I love this house. I like her a lot. I like her career path and her personality. And I think it would be fun to manipulate her or keep her going on the path that she is and see how it turns out. I also mentioned that I was interested in finding out exactly what would happen if you continue giving... I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her name. The gal who keeps asking you for 1,000 simoleons. Bess Sterling? I could maybe try that with this sim here and see what happens. I don't know, but I kind of want to keep her. However, no one is watching my Sims 4 Let's Play videos, so I have to think long and hard. Do I want to waste a lot of time and effort in this heat? We're getting a heat wave coming up this week. 5 days in a row in the muggy 90s, and I don't have air conditioning, so I don't know how long I can sit in this room without a fan on. I might just turn a fan on and say, please excuse the noise in the background. I'm sorry, but I don't want to suffocate. I'm turning a fan on. I like the way I did my landscaping. Again, nothing fancy, no overkill, but I think I gave her just enough to make it look pretty and presentable. And I did like that arching gate. You can do that, so people aren't just wandering in and out. A lot of people are coming to her house, which is unusual. Now, I saw that background and I'm like, wait a minute, I did go back up. I set the ultra on all of my settings again, my poor computer here. I wasn't here long enough to put any undue stress on my computer, so I put it back up at ultra. And this still looked wonky to me. Until you get past this white area in the ocean, watch. Zoom. I just wanted to know what was there, and that's cute. It looks like one of those Mr. Rogers towns with the mountains, the huge moon. And then you come back into the blue and everything slows down again. But this is the island that the house is on. I like it, the Valerial house and the Bjergsons. But that's coming up on the end. I hope you enjoyed this. I thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. Please subscribe if you're interested and like the video if you did. That would help me out a lot. Also, let me know what you thought of my build here in the comments. You're welcome to comment, good or bad. I'm interested to know how you feel about it. Yeah, it got dark. Do take care of yourselves and have an absolutely fabulous day as well. There are the lights. Ta-da! Bye-bye!